Hi, CMIC here. I'm going to teach you how to make a historic map uh, like I've been doing for 1860. This time we're going to look at Pittsburgh in the presidential election in Pittsburgh in 1860. It shouldn't take that long, maybe 20 minutes. First thing we need is a background map from 1860 to know where stuff was. There are two sources for these maps. First is the Library of Congress at www.loc.gov/maps. These usually aren't warped to current coordinates, so you have to warp them. But if you go to the New York Public Library, they have an excellent map warper tool that allows you to warp things online, and some people have already done it for you. It's at maps.nypl.org/warper/maps. And basically all you do is browse all maps in the warper, put the years you want. We'll do from 1834 or so to 1800, 60 was too far. 1899, run rectified maps only, although if you don't find one, just do all maps and hit search. And what comes up is a bunch of maps of Pittsburgh. This one from 1855 is actually a very good one. It has the wards at the time, as you'll see in a second, once it loads. And it also has Cincinnati on the bottom, and it has a 17th ward in Cincinnati. But you can see you have the ward number here for Pittsburgh and everything else. The city of Pittsburgh in 1855 was in between two of the three rivers. It was in between the Allegheny and the Monongahela. It did not go to the south side or the north side. The north side was the independent city of Allegheny. In No Point State Park, there was actually people living down there. Cincinnati, as you can see, I couldn't find a 17th ward. Now I know where the 17th ward is thanks to this map. Anyway, once you're logged in, and I'm logged in under my Twitter account, as you can see right here, all you have to do is hit export and then download GeoWarp TIFF. I've already done that. As you see, I canceled out at the bottom. So I don't need to do it, but all you do is click this link and you'd have it downloaded. I like to put the tiger line shape files on the bottom just so I kind of know where the roads are today. It makes me draw straighter lines. I'm not very good at straight hand drawing. These are at census.gov/geographies/mapping files/time series/geo/tiger line file.html. 2020 files aren't out quite yet, so we go to 2019. And we'll go to the web interface, although I like to use the FTP interface because I know where things are. But it's easier for you guys to use a web interface probably. We're interested in features of lines. Hit submit. Select the state, Pennsylvania. Select the county, Allegheny, because that's where Pittsburgh is. And hit download, and it'll download at the bottom. Then we'll close this out, and we'll go to QGIS. Okay, here it is. This is actually my Cincinnati map. If you've seen, I put a bunch of these up on the internet today. Create a new project, and we'll do an easy way to bring these files to the screen, and that is we'll just drag them on. This is the Pittsburgh background map. Goes to the canvas, and down at the bottom I have a different set of lines. It's under 19V2. It's actually the draft lines for the 2020 census. And I know they're 03, so I'm going to find it. Its edges, probably near the bottom somewhere. So, edges 4203 QGIS, 4203, and we're going to drag the shapefile. The canvas. This one requires a warp, and just allow it. And that's the lines. You can see they're on top of Pittsburgh. I'm going to make them a little sharper so that I can see them better just by going down here and changing the symbology to simple orange line. Okay. I'll zoom in on Pittsburgh. And look at the map. This is where Pittsburgh was. It basically went, it was kind of like a U shape kind of. This is actually a ward in here. You can't see it that well. I'm going to create a temporary shapefile layer by going to Layers, Create Layer, Temporary Scratch Layer. I call it, doesn't matter, but I'll call it Pittsburgh 1960. Geometry type will be multi-polygon, and we don't need to add fields or anything, so just hit OK. It's empty right now, but we're going to start by tracing the outline of the city of Pittsburgh at the time in 1860. To do that, we hit this shape with the star icon. You might need to load advanced digitizing tools if you don't have them on to do that. And then I just add points by right-click and drag, right-click, drag, right-click. It goes down this street, to about here, and then I got to turn the lines off. Don't worry if you have to do something like that. You can always come back and select the layer and hit the polygon feature icon on your back where you started. So we're another point here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, down Elgin Street, over to Webster, down Kirkpatrick Street, over to, it's not all the way down there quite, down to another street, Pennsylvania Avenue, to Muhlenberg, and then we just follow the shoreline. That's actually easier than following streets. And again, it doesn't have to be exact. It's the 1860s, but try to make it as exact as possible. I can pan the map just by hitting the arrow keys on my computer. Notice that Point State Park wasn't there back then. It was just Fort Duquesne and people. So I keep on tracing, keep on tracing, keep on tracing. And I think I'm pretty much done. That looks good. I'll hit the right click and the shape appears. I'm going to change the color, the opacity of the shape so that it's kind of there but kind of not there to say 40%. And hit apply and hit OK. Okay, that kind of colors in the stuff that isn't colored in too well on this map. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the individual line borders for the wards. Now you could theoretically trace every ward and try to get the map to go together, but I find this subtractive process works better, mainly because it's easier to draw lines and subtract and get everything to match up than if you do it otherwise. So I go to Layer, Create Layer, Temporary Scratch Layer, and call it Lines. Geometry type is multi-line. This multi-line string this time. Just hit OK. And I'm going to change this so I can see them better. And make it, I usually use primary road for these. Hit apply and hit OK. To make these lines, you hit this V icon to make a new line. This will move a vertex if you mess up. So I'm just going to build this down to here. This is the 9th word boundary. And down. You always want to start, and then right click. You always want to start outside of where the polygon is and end inside where the polygon is. And I'll make the 5th word up here. That just goes down to here, then to here, then to here, then to here, and then up to the bridge and out. And we'll do the 7th ward. Again, I don't need to do the outer boundaries, just need to do the inner boundaries. Down Vine Street, to return to this vertex. Well, that's not exact. If you make a mistake like this, like I did and didn't do it, didn't work properly, there's a tool called Join Multiple Lines. I can just add another line segment over there. You have to add it as a plugin. What you do is select the 2 lines by hitting down Shift and selecting them on the map, and then you just go to Vector, Join Multiple Lines, and it'll join multiple lines. Now that you'll see that's one line. Next, we'll do the 8th ward and click on this. And then the 6th ward. Again, you want them to overlap. 2nd and 3rd ward, I'll just draw the 2nd first. It's hard to see, but it goes down to this street over here. Again, I made a mistake, but that's not a problem. All I have to do is select the 2 lines with the line segment, holding down Shift, and hit Vector, join multiple lines, join multiple lines. Trace the 1st ward next. That's just up here, 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 then down Liberty Street to Warburg Street. And the lines between the 3rd and the 4th ward just go there. Okay, I think I've mapped them all out now. What I do next, I'll just zoom out to make sure. Zoom to layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, there's 9 of them. I then use the split by lines tool. Just go to your toolbox, hit Control Alt T, or if it's open like it is with mine, search for split and you'll find it. We'll split Pittsburgh 1860 with lines and hit run. See how well it does. Normally doesn't do it all at once. We didn't get all of them yet, but we will. Hit split with lines again, and hit split this time with lines. Okay, how did that do? Better. We got one more line to go. Again, split with lines. Just if you have split selected, it's easier. Otherwise, you've got 2 things named split, so you don't know which it is. So select split, hit split with lines, layer lines, hit run, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Okay, so we can delete these other layers that we don't need. Delete the lines. We don't need them anymore. I'm going to keep them for now just in case something messes up. Then I can save this as a permanent file by double-clicking, clicking on the 3 dots here. And I already did it, but I'll do it again. Eventually this will pop up. And just hit OK, and it makes it permanent. Overwrite the file. And you can save the project now. Just hit the disk icon. Kentucky, you got to go down to Pennsylvania. So, Pittsburgh 1860. Yeah, we'll replace it. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is check to see if there are any. Turn down the opacity to 0 and see if for anything that doesn't look exactly right. Yeah, you can always edit a split a polygon file. This is just a little bit too inland. All you gotta do is click on it, drag it after hitting that nail tool to drag it to the line. That looks okay. Yeah, we can make Fort Duquesne look better. It's a little bit too far out. Overall, not exact, but whatever. It's not an exact science making a historical map anyway. This line is a little bit messed up, so I'm just going to drag it up there. I got to do it twice for both shapes. And it looks okay. Maybe not here. That's okay. This looks okay. Okay. And we can move this a little bit further up there. Okay. Just hit the pencil icon and save your changes. These will be permanently saved now that the layer is permanently saved. Next thing we need is data. I got the data from newspapers.com. Unfortunately, it wasn't on the Library of Congress's website. And I already put it into Excel. There's the Excel spreadsheet. And there's Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, both for governor and president from November 8th, Thursday, so 2 days after the election. Make it a little bit bigger, make it a little bit smaller. Pittsburgh had 9 wards. It also had two of the wards are split into precincts. Unfortunately, I don't have the precinct descriptions to do anything. But basically, all I did was inputted the numbers into Excel. Douglas has Fusion and Straight Line, and I just added both at the end. It's just data entry. It's simple. For the total, I just hit Alt Enter to get the total. For the other total, it's just sum C to F, and the percentage are just C2 divided by G2, and you can copy it. Right? If you put a dollar sign in front of the G, you can copy it all the way through Bell. Added up the 2 Douglas columns, and then did a win code. If you remember from my other tutorials, a win code is basically what you do to assign a color to the winner. In my color scheme, 0 to 1 is red, 1 to 2 is green, 2 to 3 is blue, 3 to 4 is gold, 4 to 5 is orange, etc. The formula is basically if the total G2 over here equals 0, then 10, that makes it gray. If the max equals the second largest, that then 9, that gives it a lighter gray. If Lincoln H2 equals the max of these 3, then H2, that's the Lincoln percent. If Bell's percent equals the max of these 2, then it's Bell plus 4. That didn't happen. And if it's Douglas, that's top combined Douglas. Then it's L2 plus 5, and that 2 plus 2, that actually did happen in one precinct, 3-1. Unfortunately, I can't make a precinct map, so we're not going to be able to show it on it. But then I just did a sum if to get the ward totals and added everything up. So now we need to get this into QGIS. That's a fairly simple process. Pull up QGIS. Hit this icon to do it. This will pop up. And we want to look for just files, Pennsylvania. And we want to look for this. That's what I call the file. Hit add. And I only need ward. I don't need precinct, unfortunately. And they close. The data's in there. One thing I forgot to do to the split file, to the shape file, is add the ward numbers. We do that by hitting the Connecticut Avenue Monopoly icon. And we can make it FID, but we'll make a new column, a new field, call it ward. Make it text, date, text, length 2 or 1. And then we just got to look at our map, and basically all you do is select this here, that's the 9th ward, open up the split, that one that highlights is the 9th ward, make that 9. This is the 5th ward, 5. This is the 7th ward. This is the 6th ward, 6. This one is the 7th ward, 7. This is the 8th ward, 8. This is the 2nd ward, 2. 3rd ward, 3. So this is the fourth ward, and it is 4, and finally the first ward. Hit the pencil icon to save. Then we'll do our join. To do that, we double click on the split layer, the shapefile layer, to join, hit the plus, field join layer, field is the ward, the spreadsheet's the join layer, target field is ward, join field is ward, the target field is ward, and I make a short custom name, G60 for general election 60. Go to symbology, hit style. Load one of my pre-made styles. I'm going to use the 50 to 100 win code. Style, black, take that one. Eventually this populates. Load style. Change the value map to G60 win code. And change the opacity to 90%. The problem with doing it 75 is that these are already colored in, so it doesn't look exactly right. 90, it was 900. 90. Hit apply. And the last thing I'm going to do, while we have a map, but the last thing I'm going to do is add labels. So I go to single label, put this down for reward. Top. Turn the buffer on, and I'll do the placement. Placement offset from centroid, exactly where it is, and force point with inside polygon. And we should have labels now. Second. There we go. Save it. And when I turn the things off, that's that. We have a map. Lincoln did worst in the third ward. As we saw, he lost a precinct there and did best in one of these. I could show you how to make a quick print composer map, and I might as well. To do that, go to Project, Layout Manager. There we go. I have a 19.6 with 16:9, which is the right size for a Twitter picture. I hit create, name it Pittsburgh 1860. Okay, and we get a print layout. Let's make this big so we can see it. Okay, to make a map, we just draw this. Draw a box. I'm going to change the projection in a second to Pennsylvania South at 3685. I'll make it a little bit bigger, a bit smaller. It doesn't fill the full screen. It's Pennsylvania specific projection. To make the scale a little bit smaller, to make the map bigger. And maybe we can do 16,000. That fits. I'm going to then change the background so that we don't have all that white over there. Just by clicking on this, going to color, sample color, and picking a color on the map. And hitting back. And that fills in. We need to add a title. Hit the text box, draw a box. In the lorem ipsum, we just Pittsburgh 1860 presidential result by ward. Okay, I'll change the font to 24 point and bold and left justified because I don't like justified. And I'd normally add other stuff. We can add a legend. I'd add the information about it and who wrote it, but there's no need to do that right now. Add a legend, get rid of auto update, click the only show items within the box, and then you can rename split Lincoln, since this is Lincoln's percent. And I don't like the spacing here, so I'm going to change it. First thing I'm going to do is change the fonts and text formatting for subgroup fonts to bold. Then I'm going to change the spacing to delete all the stuff at the top. Put a millimeter underneath the heading and change the space between symbols to 1. Then you add whatever you want. This adds a scale bar if you want it. Just draw a box like with everything else. You can do feet if you want, but I'd rather have miles. And you can make it smaller or larger, or do whatever you want. Change the units if you want to make it half a mile instead of a quarter of a mile. Okay, drag that down there. And normally I'll put candidate names in by just making a bunch of text boxes. I'll show you how to make the first one, and you can figure out the rest. They can do city, result. And we'll center horizontal, middle there. Font will be 24. Bold. And then to make it look like it's a chart, all I do is click frame and hit click background. And that's that. It's a little bit smaller. Hit Control C and Control V a couple times. Like 4 times is probably best here because we have 4 candidates. And let me just line them up. Click and drag. See, a line shows up when you get near where the other one is on top of it. Then just click the name. I put Lincoln up here. Change the font color to, I have them preset red. And Douglas. Blue. And Bell. Orange, then Breckenridge, green, I think we've been using on my map series. He hasn't won anything yet. He's going to win something in Baltimore, I'm sure, when I make that map. And that's it. And then you just, what you do is you hit Control C, Control V. It's outside the map, but I drag this over here, and then I just add my percents. I don't know what linking dot. I'd have to look at the spreadsheet. If it was let's say it was 60%, 60.0%, and make it black, which I don't have preset. And then you just take Control C, Control V. Oops. Click on it, hit Control C, then Control V. Drag it in, do Douglas, etc., etc., etc. When you're done, you hit this icon over here, and you save it. I have all my stuff in a file called pictures, and then you'd save it there. But I already did it over here, and you'll see that on Twitter in a minute, so there's no sense doing it again. Anyway, that's it. And if you have any questions, please tell me in the comments. And I'm going to try to do Baltimore, which is a little bit different because it's a precinct map, and it's going to be done from precinct descriptions. I'm going to teach you how to do that in another video. Thank you for watching, and happy mapping.